and I'm here to do some gymnastics with you. Today we're going to do something slightly different. It's just me this morning because Luna is unfortunately still sick, so Tom's going to be looking after Luna today. And we're going to be focusing some of today's session on doing some beam preparation work. So just need to start the session by saying, ideally it'd be good if you have a couple of towels or yoga mats that you can position, as I have here, with a gap down the middle where we can have an imaginary beam. Or if you've got a piece of string or a piece of masking tape, something on the floor that can show you where your line is. We want around about a 10 centimetre width, which is the width of the beam. So today we're going to do a warm-up, and the warm-up's going to be on our imaginary beam. And then we're going to do a little bit of beam work, followed by some conditioning, which is to prepare you for handsprings. So on the tumble track and the air track, we do handsprings. So we're going to do some work on handsprings, and then we're going to finish with a kind of game, which again, it's balance based, and is something that you call flow work. So it's animal flow work. So again, playing with some of those animal positions that we did before, and putting them into a sequence. So it will be a challenge to see if we can get through it. All right, okay, we're going to start with a warm-up then, but we're warming up on our beam, so it's going to be a different kind of warm-up today. So I'm going to put the clock on that tells me how long we're warming up for. And let's begin. So if you come to the end of your beam, we're going to start with, let me turn that up, walking up and down on your tiptoes. So what we want is super straight elbows up in the air and straight knees, sucking your tummy in, and just tipping the hips under slightly. When you get to the end of your beam, start walking forwards again, or when you get to the front of the beam, we'll do a backwards walk. So we're just going up and down, forwards and backwards to start with. It's going to get quite tiring in a minute. We're just walking, but hopefully you've got really good body tension going on. So sucking the stomach in here, straight arms up overhead. Okay, we're going to go sideways now. So you can have arms out to the side, but we're going to go sideways along the beam. So again, keep your knees really straight. Up high on the tiptoes, going from side to side. So in this position, while we're doing this one, I can see that we've got Joel here, and we've got Andy here, and we've got Adeline here. So hello, hello. Good morning. Got 10 seconds to go on this one, and then we're going to change to another exercise. I'm actually getting warm already. I don't know about you guys. Okay. Next we're going to do step, kick forwards, step, kick forwards. So on this one, we're getting a nice hamstring stretch. We'll turn at the end, and I'll show you that again in a minute. So keep step, kick, step, kick. So we're warming up the hamstrings as we kick. To turn, put your toes together, rise up onto your toes, twist from the hips. So it's a balance challenge. So we're going to keep step kicking and then turn. Oh, I've fallen off my beam already. I was never very good at beam, I was always falling off. So really keep the hips tilted under, and you want straight legs, and we want the head position, looking forwards, chin up, eyes down. Okay, changing to a different exercise now. So now we're going to do stepping backwards with a kick. And then when you get to the end again, we'll turn. Oh, I'm feeling so wobbly now. How are you guys getting on? I'm getting quite out of breath too. So when you're going backwards, it's quite difficult to see where you are. You still want your head up, but keep your eyes down, because that's going to tell you where you are, and it's going to help with your balance. Okay, moving on. We're going to go down to the squat position here. I'm going to walk along the beam in the squat position. At the end, we're going to turn So see if you can turn. I hope that wasn't too difficult. Hopefully your arms are getting warm, and my arms are very tired now as well. So your arms might be tired too. Okay, we've got time to do another one of these. So one more all the way to the end of the beam. Okay, stand up and turn. So now we're going to do the ostrich walk along the beam. So bending over, touching the floor. So this one's really difficult on the balance. Oh, yeah, I've fallen off my beam again. See if you can count how many times you would have fallen off. So at the end of your beam, keep turning like we are, up on the toes. Turn from the hips. Oh. And you really use your arms. Stretch your arms out and have your fingertips really extended, because it helps to give you more information about where you balance, where you are in space, and it helps the balance. Okay, this time we're going to do step, and we're going to kick behind and lean forward. So step, kick, step, kick, step, kick, and I'm turning. And one more lot. Step, kick, step, kick, step, kick. Better just adjust my beam there, it's moved. Let's do another line of these. Okay, now let's try a little bit of stretching work on our beam. So I want you to sit and squat facing me. We're going to extend one leg out. So we're just going to sit in this position for a moment to get our balance. And then we're going to transition over to the other leg. How is that? And then we'll go back again. Oh, I've fallen. To put my hand down. So we're going backwards and forwards. Okay, I can see that Paul's saying we've got Grace and Elizabeth with us again. Good morning, girls. Hope you're doing this one very beautifully. So keep going. This is to warm up the insides of the legs. If you can, on this one, turn to face the front. We'll turn back, we'll go the other way, and same again this side. That's it. We do one more round. Good. Okay, final exercise. So, we've done this quite a lot with Andy. We're going to practice again today. So I want you to put your hands on the beam to start with. Let me move my mat to make it a little bit narrower. So hands go on the beam, feet off the beam. And we're going to try to jump the feet between the hands onto the beam, like that. And then if you can jump the feet back out again, or you can walk the feet back out. But for the next 45 seconds, we're going to practice that. So we want to get the feet to touch between the hands. That's the trick. So see if you can do that. It's useful for practicing squat-ons on the vault, but it's also like a beam mount, a squat-on beam mount. We're going to use this in a minute in our sequence. It's also a good way to warm up the legs and shoulders and get even more out of breath. Okay, that's the timer to tell us we've done our full warm-up. Well done. Shake out your hands, shake out your feet and ankles and wrists. Oh, it's good to have you here today. So the good news is you'll all be back in the school next week doing full-on gym on all the fun equipment. So that's going to be great. And hopefully what we're going to do today will help you to get some improvements by next week. Oh, I'm out of breath from that warm-up. So while I regain my breath, I'll run you through what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is a little sequence. It's a balance challenge for our beam. So the goal of this is, you don't have to get it perfect, just got to try and stay on your beam. So see if, as we practice, we're going to do 2 rounds of practicing. As we practice, see if you can, how many rounds you can get without falling off. So count, every time you fall off, count. So in the first round, count the number of times you fall off. And in the second round, see if you can beat the first round. That's our goal. So the sequence we're going to do is a squat on, like we started with. So you're starting this way round, squat onto the beam. We're going to stand up, turn, quarter turn. We're going to step forward and do an arabesque. And we're going to hold that for a few seconds. Bring that leg forward and we're lowering down to the beam. And then if you can, we want to try and balance in this position with the leg to the back, leg to the front, and stand up again. Reset and we go again. So I'll show you one more time. So it's a squat on, stand up, turn, arabesque, hold it, hold it, hold it, 3-second hold, leg to the front, we're lowering, leg to the side, leg to the back, bring it back round and stand up. Okay, so that's our routine and we're going to practice it for 90 seconds. I don't know how I'm going to get on with doing it for 90 seconds while talking. That was tiring enough. Okay, but I've got a timer. You can change legs if you want to, or you can just do it on the same leg. Either is fine. And we're going to practice this twice round. The second time I'm going to give you an extra bit to add in if you want to. All right. Ready? Let's go. So we're starting in the front support. Jump, stand up, turn, arabesque, hold, 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 and then we're going down to the beam. And if you can, try to do it without putting hands down. I don't think I can do it without putting my hands down. It's very difficult. And stand up again. So just going to keep going around like that. We've done 30 seconds already, so we might have time for 3 rounds. Ooh. So really see if you can fight to try and get your balance back if you go off balance. It's not easy. Ooh. I haven't got the flexibility to get my leg round to the back there, I don't think. Alright, time for one more. Are you managing to get your feet to jump onto the beam? That's the really tricky part, and the part that's really helpful for vaults. It's also helpful for learning squat on the bars. Oh, my leg's getting tired now. Okay, that's the end of the 90 seconds. So we're going to have a little rest, and then we'll practice it again. And we're going to add in a little bit this time. So when you do your pistol squat lower to here, now we're going to do a roll backwards and stand up. So we're doing it with the roll and the stand. So let me know how you're getting on. Let me see if we have any comments. Feel free to ask any questions. Tom says that he's watching with Luna in the other room. That's nice. Yes, and he's saying, remember to say hello and make comments, and I can answer any questions you might have. Joel, Grace, Elizabeth, how are you getting on? Hope you're getting on well. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my cup of tea because the timer is telling me it's time to start again. Okay. Ready? Ready for round 2. So, this is all about nailing this mount today. Getting the feet between the hands. take your time over each move because we want you to do it with as few wobbles as possible. So this time we come down into the pistol squat and then you can roll out. That's it. Okay, I wasn't so wobbly on that one. I'm really going to focus now on trying to do this without wobbling too much. So, to get it with no wobbles, you want to be super tight in your body and you have to concentrate really, really hard. So use your fingertips to help with the balance. Keep your legs straight and your toes pointed. It's all about concentration if you want to do it with no wobbles. Oh, that was quite a good one for me. Hope yours was good. Keep going. I've got 60 seconds of this practice left. Ooh. Oh, I'm wobbling. So you can use your toes to squeeze into the beam. And that's going to help you not to wobble. The other thing that's going to help is if you really use your hands. So stretch your hands out along the beam. So when you're in this position across the beam, sideways, use your fingertips. Stretch out to the side as far as you can. And when you're trying to get up, reach the hands forward as much as you can. Okay, last one. So just notice, have you managed to do it this time with fewer wobbles? Oh, that's the clock. I'll do the last bit and stand up. There we are. So yeah, did you manage to do the second time round with fewer wobbles than the first time? I'm not sure I did. I think I probably hit my best one in the middle of the second round. But then by the end I was very tired again. So take a little break, have a sip of some water, and I'll talk you through what we're going to do next. So well done for doing that. We're going to come back to the balance work now at the end of the session. But that was a really good way of getting the balance working. Balance is all about using your peripheral vision, so not just your eyes, but the information that's coming in, not what you're focusing on in front necessarily, but the information you're getting from the side of your body through your eyes, and then using what's called the proprioceptive system. That's all the nerve endings that we have in our fingertips and our tiptoes. So that's why we go onto tiptoe on the beam a lot, and we point the toes and we stretch the fingers out, because that's going to give us extra information that helps with us to balance. All right, so next we're going to do a little bit of work to prepare the body for handsprings. So handsprings, we all know, are a really important move to learn for tumbling. And there's different parts that you need to get right in a handspring. So in the handspring we have the lunge entry. So we do like a hurdle step, you know, hurdle step in, lunge, then we put the hands down, and then we do a big push through the shoulders, and then we push through and we come up to finish, leaving the head behind. So today we're going to do 4 exercises that are going to help us practice the different shapes that we need to make with our body in order to go over and stand up at the other side. So those exercises are, we're going to start with I want you to come into let me just get rid of the beam because we don't need the beam anymore. So we're going to start with in what's called a downward dog position. So in this position here, we want you to push away from the floor with the shoulders, so not bending the arms, just thrusting with the shoulders. At the back of your shoulders here are the scapula. We want to squeeze the scapula together and then push away. Squeeze and push, squeeze and push. So that's the position that we're in when we're doing the downward dog. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is a hip thrust. So that is lying on your back, on your mat or on your carpet, and just pushing the hips up. So it looks quite easy, but after 30 seconds it gets quite tiring. Okay, next we've got a bit like a bunny hop. So you know a bunny hop would look like this. We're going to do a bunny hop but with straight legs, just like that. So pushing with the toes away from the floor, extending the knees and trying to get straight legs. That's what we want in the pike hops. And then the last one we're going to do is a downward dog leg kick. So you put your preferred leg forwards on this, and we're kicking like this, like we did in the warm-up. So it's to get a nice hamstring stretch. But it's also to practice the part of the handspring where you've lunged in, you put your hands down, and then you've got to do a big kick with the back leg before you push off the hands. Okay, let me set the timer up. So we're going to do 3 rounds of this one, and we're doing 30 seconds of each one, and we'll have 10-second rest to change from exercise to exercise, and that'll be 12 reps. So it's going to take us about 8 minutes to get through this. Let's see if I can remember what the exercises were. So first one is this downward dog position. Off you go. So we're going to get into downward dog, and then we're pushing through the shoulders. We want straight arms, and we just want to do this position again and again so that our shoulders start to know how to move in this position, because instinctively your body wants to bend your elbows to get a push, but what we need is to push with straight arms. Okay, that's the first round done. Second exercise is the hip thrust. So we're going down to the floor and we're thrusting the hips up. So again, in this position, we want straight arms, straight knees. And you're just raising your hips up off the floor and back down. The main mistake that people make when they're doing a handspring is when they've pushed off their hands, they go into a pike position. But what you need to do is push the hips forwards really hard as soon as you push off your hands. Okay, next exercise is the pike up. So we're doing the pike hop. Just get as high as you can. It's fine if you just do really, really small ones. So just like this. So keep going with that, because Andy's got a comment. Andy says straight leg bunny hops are also good for forward rolls. That's very true. And we want to get the shoulders directly over the wrists. And you're pushing through the toes away from the floor. All right. Final exercise is the kick. So take a breath. We're going to put the hands on the floor and we're kicking the leg back really hard. Off we go. So see if you can keep your hands on the floor in between each kick. You want your head up and looking forwards. Don't tuck your chin, because that's another mistake people make with a handspring, is they tuck the chin in. All right. So this is a really good stretch for your hamstring. I'm certainly feeling it. Woo! One round done. So we're going back to the beginning for the downward dog push-ups. Just shake your legs out. Okay, back to the start. Whew! It's quite a lot to do all the talking and to do the circuit too. I'm very out of breath now. Hope you guys are feeling fitter than I am. So remember, it's straight elbows and big push away from the floor. Excellent. Whew. Onto your backs, we've got the hip thrusts. This one also really helps strengthen your hamstrings. And you might find your lower back starts to get tired doing these. So keep pushing the hips. Woo. Straight arms up overhead. Have you got pointed toes? Sometimes we forget to point our toes. Keep going. I'm running out of steam here, but hopefully you're still getting it. All right, we've got the pike hops. 3, 2, 1, go. So can you get higher on each one? Stay low to the ground if you need to. Then we want to get the shoulders directly over the wrists. Just there. Woo. 3, 2, 1, and we're going back to the kicks again. I'm going to do the other leg this time, just so that I've done both sides and one leg doesn't get more flexible or more of a workout. But this side's much harder for me. I can hardly get my hands on the floor. Hope that you're getting on okay. Let me know how you're finding it. This is a fitness conditioning session as well as preparing for handsprings specifically. Keep going. Well done. We've got one more round to do of each of those. So the purpose of doing them like this in quick succession, so we're going back to downward dog for the pushes. So we're doing one more round of each of the 4 exercises. The purpose of doing them like this in a circuit is it allows us to build the fitness and it allows us to get the movement in the muscle, in the body, without us having to think so hard when we do the full handspring tumble. So it'll be interesting to see next week if you find it any easier having done all these practice exercises. All right, onto the hip thrust, last round. Everybody's doing very well if you're still joining in at this point. Oh, I need to take some deep breaths. It's getting hard. Keep pushing the hips up. Woo. Last few seconds. Keep the toes pointed. Okay, last lot of the pike hops. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to take a little rest and then I'm going to do 3 more. Whew. How are you getting on? Are you getting some height each time or are you staying low to the floor? Let me know. It's time for a couple more. No, clock's run out. Okay, last one is the leg kicks. So final one. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So I'm going back to my good leg again this time. And it's the heel in a handspring that does a lot of the work. This leg kick, it's the heel that drives really hard and takes you over in the handspring. And if you want to know more about how to do handsprings, we have a session on YouTube at the moment, because we did one on Tuesday night this week for our adults. All right, the clock has run down, so that was 8 minutes of conditioning. Well done, guys. If you made it through all of that, you're doing very well. I'm exhausted. How are you? Let me know. Let's see what Andy says. Andy says the straight leg bunny jump is, oh no, that's what he said before. Good for forward rolls. Thought he said something else. Okay, take some water. I'll have some more of my tea, and then we'll get on to the last thing. So, the last thing we're going to do is what we call flow work. So I'm going to take my mat away now because it's not going to be very helpful. So we've done some of these exercises before. Some of them are going to be new for you. So I don't want you to get it perfect. This is about seeing how quickly you can pick something new up, a new pattern. And the challenge here, as I said, it's about balance, but this is now a core stability session. So this is about developing the muscles around the centre of our body here. The core muscles, or what you can think of as a corset. There's a corset set of muscles that wrap around the centre of our body and hold all of our organs in. And we need to use those a lot when we're doing gymnastics. And what we're going to do next is quite a fun way of getting your core work done. So it's a little sequence, and it's about moving and transitioning between different animal movements. So each movement kind of got a name. Some of them sound like they're animal names. And what I want you to focus on today is the transition between the movements. And the goal is never, ever, 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 ever put your knees down. So as long as you don't put your knees on the floor, you're doing it all right. Right, before I show you, Andy says, yes, he's saying well done for making it through. And he's saying that when we think about balance, fingers and toes are key. The other thing that's key if you're on the beam is sucking your stomach in, squeezing your butt, and it's the chin position. We always want the chin up, eyes down. Okay. So, this flow sequence that we're going to do, I'm going to show you the movements bit by bit and we're going to build it up. So the first movement, the basic movement that we're starting with is what's called beast. And a beast position is where you've got your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees, and you lift your knees off the floor. So we're going to start just with the beast position and we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. Just so you really get used to it. Okay, ready? Push up. So, what's really important is that you stay in this kind of box position and you keep your knees off the floor. And the name of the game is don't put your knees down. So this position's really difficult when you hold it like this. It can get you very out of breath. It can really make your shoulders burn and makes your quads burn. 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, who managed that? It's really hard. Looks so easy, right? But it's really, really difficult. So that position there, we're going to call beast. And then the second position that we're going to use is the crab position. So crab is what you're all used to. I think you probably know it, and it's super simple. So I'll push up and I'll put the clock on and we're going to hold this one as well. So clock is on and this is your crab position here. So push up and hold it, and again the thing is, just don't put your bottom on the floor. We want to keep the hips up, and in this position we want to make sure that the fingertips are facing forward. So we're going to hold this for another 10 seconds and then I'll show you how to get from beast to crab, and that's what we'll practice next. So keep holding, keep holding, keep holding, and down. So the next thing we're going to practice is the transition now between the beast and the crab. So to do the transition, you're in the beast, you take one hand off and you twist towards the hand that you've taken off, and then you put the hand back down again in the crab position. And then we're going to keep going. So don't go back the way that you've come. We want to keep going. Right? So we're going to go around in a circle. Crab to beast, beast to crab. Okay, let's practice that for 30 seconds. Clock is on. So come into your beast position. Hand comes off, twist to the direction of the hand that you've taken off, and then keep going the same way. Whoa. Nice and slow. So we don't want to go too fast. We want to do it with control. As I said, it's all about transitioning. All right, 30 seconds done. Well done. Okay, so hopefully you've got that, and it wasn't easy, but hopefully you got it. So the next part is, when we're in the crab, we're going to do what's called a table reach. So that's not so much an animal name, but so from this position here, we're going to reach back and we're going to push the hips up like this. So this is a really good exercise because it's strengthening and it's stretching at the same time. It's particularly good for parents. It's really, really good for parents. It's a kind of an alternate to doing a full bridge. So it's going to get your shoulders more flexible and your lower back more flexible, all while working the core. So what we're going to do now is a little sequence, and we're going to start building in new movements each time. So we're doing beast to crab, table reach, and then under switch, which we did before, back to the beast. So we're doing beast, crab, table reach, back to beast. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. Crab, table reach, back to beast. Okay? It's a bit more complicated, so hopefully you're going to get it all right. I'm going to practice with you and we're going to do 30 seconds. Ready? Let's go. So we're doing beast, and then crab, reach, and back the way you've come. Crab, reach, back the way you've come. Crab, reach, back the way you've come. Keep going. One more round. There we are. Okay, well done. It was a bit more complicated, but I hope after practicing it, you started to get it. Now we're going to add in another animal move, just looking at what my sequence says. So we're going to add in a scorpion. So scorpion is, you come into the downward dog position. You put one leg in the air, and you hold the stretch. Then you bend the top leg, and you bend over towards that top leg. So we're just going to practice the scorpion. So now I'm going the other way. One leg goes up, bend the leg, and we're going over the top. And back again. So we're just going to practice the scorpion, nothing else. 30 seconds of practice. Ready? Let's go. So we're going up into the downward dog. One leg goes up in the air, bend the knee, and over. And we're back. We're going back to the beast. So downward dog, leg goes up, bend the leg, fall over. One more. Downward dog, leg goes up in the air, bend the leg, fall over. And the clock's run out. 3, 2, 1, rest. Okay, that was the scorpion. So now we're going to join it up with the first bit. So we're going beast, crab, table reach. Beast, crab, table reach, back to beast, and then we do scorpion one side, scorpion the other side. Alright, so I'm going to put the clock on. I'm going to do it with you, and I will give you a description as we go along. So hopefully that makes sense. We're doing the sequence we did at first, and then we're adding the scorpions on. We ready? Let's go. So beast, crab, table reach, back to beast. Crab, table reach, back to beast, downward dog. One leg goes over for the scorpion, back to beast, up to downward dog. The other leg goes over for the scorpion, back to beast. That's it. Well done. How did you get on? Tom says, as you tip over in the scorpion position, try to land as softly as possible. Yeah, that's true. It's all about controlled landing. And as I said at the start, this part of the session today is about trying something new and seeing how quickly you can pick up new things, new patterns. And it's about transitioning from one movement to the other very softly. Adeline says that was quite hard. Yes, it's true, it's not easy. Right, we're going to add in a little bit more now. So the next part is what's called a Gracie drill. So this is a drill that comes from, it comes from, I've forgotten the name of the martial art, the one where you do lots of grappling. I'll remember in a minute. Anyway, there was a famous fighter called something Gracie, I think, and it's named after him. Anyone that knows about martial arts will be able to correct me on that. So we're going from beast to do the Gracie drill. You take the hand off, twist towards that hand, put your hip towards the floor and kick the leg out. And then come back to beast. Twist, kick the leg out, back to beast. Okay? We're going to practice that for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So, one side and then the other side. So I like to put my hand on the side of my head as I do this. I put it here. And we want the leg, as it kicks out, to lift off the floor and be parallel with the floor. So we want a straight leg to the side and the hip sinks in towards the floor. There we go, that's the clock. Well done, 30 seconds of that's pretty difficult. Thank you Tommy for reminding me. So the Gracie drill comes from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was struggling to remember Jiu-Jitsu at this time in the morning. Right, we're going to add in one more movement before we put everything together. So the final movement is a kick through. This one is really, really hard. So the kick through, you start in beast. You put your right foot to the right hand and you take your right hand off. And then you put the leg through the middle. And then you put it back again. And then we're going to do it on the left side. Okay? It's super difficult. It's going to burn your quads. You need some shoulder flexibility for it. And to do it with control is hard, to really use your core muscles. So we're going to practice just that for 30 seconds. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. So beast, right foot to right hand comes off, kick the leg through and back again. Left foot to left hand, take the left hand off, put the right leg through. And we're just going to keep going. Oh, I've lost my balance. It's really, really difficult. Last little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, well done. Okay, Tom says, he's still talking about the Gracie drill. Royce Gracie, he says. So that's a little bit of interesting information about Jiu-Jitsu. Anyway, lots of what we're doing here today, just for your reference, is very popular within kind of the yoga world. There are lots of people that do what's called flows now, or flow workouts, and they put all these movements together with yoga moves, and they do whole sequences that include handstands. And lots of the moves come from capoeira as well. So there's this kind of interesting thing that's happening online where people who are interested in martial arts, capoeira, dance and yoga, they put everything together and they make these great sequences. And so we're borrowing from some of that today. Yeah, if you want to know more, but if you're interested, you should look up some capoeira movements, because they use a lot of stuff that you can do in gymnastics already, and it's a really interesting way of building up your gymnastic skills, but in a slightly different direction and in a way that doesn't involve any equipment as well. Right, we've done all the bits, so now we're going to put it all together. So we're doing, let me see if I can remember the sequence from the top. Beast, crab, table reach. Beast, crab, table reach. Then we're doing scorpion, scorpion, Gracie drill, kick through, kick through. Okay, so that was like 12 movements, so it's a lot to remember. I will talk you through it. And I'm going to put the clock on this time for 60 seconds. So we're going to see if we can practice it for 60 seconds. So we'll just do it one time through, 60 seconds. See how much you can get done. And the goal is try to keep your knees off the floor for the whole time. All right, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. I'll talk you through it. So we start beast to crab, table reach, back to beast, crab, table reach, back to beast. Now we're going on to downward dog. Leg goes up for the scorpion. We want a nice, smooth, soft transition. And back. Up to downward dog. Scorpion, nice, soft transition. Now we're going to the Gracie drill. To the side, Gracie drill. To the side, Gracie drill. And now we've got kick through and kick through. Back to the beginning. We've got a little bit more time. So we're doing table reach and table reach and scorpion and scorpion and the clocks are out. Whew. Well done. My quads are burning from that. I hope yours are okay. Let's give them a shake out. Whew. So, we've really sped through all of that today because Tom's not here doing any extra chat. We've done all of it with not very much recovery. So that was really, really difficult, but I hope you have fun with it. So you can play with those moves now and see if you can put them into different sequences, and you can add in things like the bunny hop or a little kick up to handstand. Obviously, that one is subject to having the space, but yeah, those are nice movements to work into your gymnastic movements. Like Tom is saying, you can do the routine at different speeds. That's true. So if you wanted to practice doing what we just did, if you do it really, really slowly, the exercises develop strength. And if you do them really, really fast, you're working on strength, but it's also a real hard cardiovascular workout. And it's interesting to play with the speed and notice the difference in terms of how it feels when you do it fast and how it feels when you do it slow. Cool. Adeline says she enjoyed the handspring preps. Excellent. So I hope you had fun today. As I said, back at the school next week, which is fantastic news. And if you've enjoyed this and you want to do some more, send me an email at Hello Reset Lab Fitness. We're thinking about the possibility of doing a Christmas camp online on Zoom. So you'd sign up and then we would send you the codes, and then every day for an hour over the Christmas holidays we would do some gymnastics work together. Depending on your level, we might put you into groups. So we're just at the moment interested in gauging the interest, see if anybody would like to do it, and if you would, then we might think about running that. So send me an email on that front. Okay, otherwise we will see you again. Oh, here comes Luna. Right on time. We will see you at Chessington next Saturday morning for more gymnastics. Okay, see you then. Bye bye. You wave bye bye, Luna. Bye. Yeah.